Heard that right? 158,000 US dollars for a 5-cent piece. But what could possibly make such an ordinary-looking coin command such an extraordinary price? What should collectors look for? And how did this seemingly common coin become a treasure worth a fortune? Let's dive deep into the world of the 1981 Jefferson nickel and find out. To truly appreciate the 1981 Jefferson nickel, we need to go back to the beginning. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had circulated for 25 years. Designed by German-American artist Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel featured a portrait of the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, and his famous Monticello estate on the reverse. It was a design that would become an American staple, and by 1981, the coin had already been in continuous production for over 4 decades. Now, the 1981 issue of the Jefferson nickel came at an interesting time in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was preparing for major changes, especially with the introduction of new technology and procedures. It was also just before the switch from traditional mint marks to computerized, high-speed production lines in the mid-1980s. But what makes the 1981 nickel so special isn't just its historical context. It's what happened during its production. Millions of Jefferson nickels were minted in 1981, over 600 million from the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. On the surface, this would make it seem like the 1981 nickel is extremely common, and in most cases, it is. But among those millions, there are rare exceptions. Extremely high-grade specimens, those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at Mint State 6, 7, or higher, are exceedingly rare. And then there's the Holy Grail, full steps. Full steps refer to the details on the reverse of the coin, specifically the stairs leading up to Monticello. A coin with fully struck steps, completely uninterrupted and showing all 6 lines clearly, is a rarity. Why? Because during most years, the dies used to strike nickels didn't create strong enough impressions to bring out that fine detail. In 1981, finding a nickel with full steps, let alone one in perfect condition, is almost like finding a needle in a haystack. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with Mint State 70 being absolute perfection. Most 1981 nickels floating around in circulation today are heavily worn, scratched, and dull from decades of use. Even uncirculated examples, those never used, tend to top out around MS60 for Orem S65. But in 2016, one very special Jefferson nickel from 1981 broke all expectations. Certified by PCGS as MS67 with full steps, this coin became a legend. At auction, collectors went wild, bidding soared, and when the gavel finally came down, it sold for an astonishing $158,625. What made this specific coin so valuable? It was a combination of 3 factors: condition, rarity, and eye appeal. There were simply no other known examples from that year in such pristine condition with full steps. For advanced collectors trying to complete a registry set, it was a must-have. So how can you tell if your 1981 Jefferson nickel might be worth something? Start by looking closely at the reverse of the coin, specifically at Monticello. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Are all the steps clearly visible, without breaks or blurring? That's the first step, literally and figuratively. Then check the overall condition. Is the coin uncirculated, free from scratches, wear, and dings? Does it have a sharp strike and a strong luster? If it passes those tests, you might be holding something special. The next step would be to have it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Only then can its true value be determined. But remember, these valuable coins are incredibly rare. Most 1981 nickels are worth only face value. However, the hunt is half the fun. And knowing what to look for turns every coin you find into a potential jackpot. There's another angle to this story that makes it even more interesting. The forgotten legacy of the Jefferson nickel itself. For decades, it was the underdog of American coinage, overshadowed by the penny and the silver dollar. The nickel was often ignored by collectors. But in recent years, that's changed. With the rise of registry sets and specialized collectors focusing on full steps varieties, the Jefferson nickel has gained newfound respect. Coins like the 1981 MS67FS have led the charge, turning what was once pocket change into prized artifacts. And who knows? Maybe the next $158,000 nickel is still out there, tucked away in an old coin jar, hidden in a drawer, or mixed in with everyday change. So the next time you come across a Jefferson nickel, especially one from 1981, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. You might just find a treasure that could change your life.